What the heck is going on with Tesla stock here on the day today, down about 1.8%? We're going to go over everything you need to know, and honestly, I'm not super shocked. Hopefully, you guys are not super shocked either. It really comes down to Nvidia. Now, Nvidia has been going through a parabolic rally ever since they reported earnings. Nvidia was up 16.5% yesterday, up another 2% today. Now, Nvidia at one point this morning broke $2 trillion of market cap. I've explained this many times before, but just so we're all on the same page, Nvidia is sucking the life out of Tesla. That's the fact of the matter. And that's why Tesla stock is down when Nvidia is up. Unless we get new money coming into our markets, if Nvidia continues higher, Tesla stock is probably going lower. Unless, of course, Tesla gets some good news and there is a reason for money to flow into Tesla, well, that could obviously cause Tesla to rise, but when you're not getting any company impactful news, Tesla's going to inverse Nvidia. With that being said, we do have some Tesla stock breaking news today, and some news that is actually very important for Tesla stock. The markets don't always pick up on that until way later after the fact. Now, I think this also puts it into context a lot. 10-year treasury yields are down about 8 basis points today, which is a big drop in 10-year treasuries, and it's still not having a positive effect on Tesla stock today. Nvidia, and specifically the GPU semiconductor hype that is out there right now, is just so strong, it's sucking the life out of Tesla, no matter really what else is happening out there. It also doesn't help that Tesla is very much an interest rate sensitive company, and you went from the start of this year pricing in about 7 rate cuts in 2024. Guess how many rate cuts the markets are pricing in for 2024 now, throughout the entire year? 1, 2, 3. 3 rate cuts. That's it. That's in line with what the Fed has said themselves. 2 to 3 rate cuts. You're there now. You've priced out 1% of rate cuts. 4 rate cuts have gotten priced out of our markets. I'm honestly shocked Tesla is not lower today. And we are now pricing in our first rate cut for June. We will get some data coming out next week with GDP as well as PCE, the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. And while those data reports could push back the first rate cut even further, but we will have to wait and see. In the meantime, let's go over all of your Tesla stock breaking news today. Now, this is pretty interesting. Edmunds, they wrote this article that says Tesla Cybertruck Foundation Series beats Tesla's own range estimate in Edmunds EV range test. The Cybertruck Foundation Series beat Tesla's estimate by 16 miles. So the Foundation Series Cybertruck actually gets a little bit more range than what was previously thought. Tesla Manufacturing on X says we built over 500 chargers in our car park at Giga Berlin for employees, visitors, and guests. All chargers are public and free to use. We are now spotting a record 140 Cybertrucks in the outbound lots of Giga Texas. This is by far a new record. This is 35 more than what we seen yesterday. So the Cybertrucks are really starting to roll off the assembly line. And that's something I highlighted in the last video. If the Cybertruck ramp goes faster or smoother, less cost imperative on Tesla, by a faster ramp, that could lead to more profits for Tesla and better EPS and better, I guess, stock price or news for Tesla that is not baked into Tesla stock at all. Tesla stock right now has very low expectations for the Cybertruck, for deliveries, for EPS, even for top line revenue. A lot of institutional investors on Wall Street expect Tesla stock's not going to do a whole lot of much, maybe even see negative year-over-year growth in deliveries, which I do find that kind of crazy that GM expects to sell 200 to 300,000 EVs in 2024. They only sold about 76,000 EVs in the entirety of 2023, so that would be 164 to 294% year-over-year growth. Tesla Malaysia recently initiated a hiring ramp. They have 15 new job roles up for grabs. Most of the jobs are located in Cyberjaya. The company also has one open position each in Kuala Lumpur and Johor. 2 jobs are located in Penang. So it looks like more efforts to expand in the country are currently underway. Lucid CEO Peter Rawlinson is explaining his compensation, and he was compensated a lot last year as Lucid lost a ton of market cap value. He does claim that his compensation is tied to Lucid's performance, but I think we know this is, for the most part, not true. But if this is true, I mean, Peter Rawlinson is not going to be nearly as wealthy in the future than he is today, because inevitably Lucid will be going bankrupt. Unless something crazy happens and under the Lucid factory in Arizona they find diamonds or something relatable like gold, yeah, they're in for problems ahead. Here you can see Kim Kardashian leaving Starbucks in her Cybertruck. Yeah, this is definitely some good publicity, to say the very least. I mean, she's actually opting to drive the Cybertruck, which is, I mean, it can't be bad news for Tesla investors, right? I don't think there's any way that it's bad news. As I pointed out earlier, and Sawyer Merritt points out here today, Nvidia's market cap hit $2 trillion today, which means in just the last 84 trading days, it has added $1 trillion to its market cap. In this same time period, Tesla has lost over $200 billion of market cap, and I think it's clear a lot of that is going into Nvidia. A lot of people look at Tesla that has a negative return 3 years, right? For the last 3 years, if you bought Tesla stock 3 years ago, you're still down on your position. A lot of people are like, why am I just sitting in Tesla? I might be very bullish on Tesla. I might think great things are coming for Tesla down the line. But right now, AI is doing well. And that's where the gains are right now. I think that is a very, very flawed mentality. I think that is not the right thing to go about doing if you are a long-term believer in Tesla. If you're not, sell your Tesla stock. Who cares? Sell your Tesla stock and come back to it later if the stock starts to run to all-time highs and you want to get in then, be my guest. I'm not going to argue with that. But typically, you want to just stay invested if you still believe in the company. Brad Gerstner says he tried Tesla's FSD Beta 12. Quote, "It was mind-boggling. I think this is going to be a bit of a ChatGPT moment for full self-driving." Let's listen to this clip, because, I mean, the ChatGPT moment, that's like when a lot of your AI craze started. I think that is also coming for Tesla some point in 2024.
It's this morning. First, I got to take a ride in full self-driving 12.
How was that?
It was mind-boggling. I think this is going to be a bit of a ChatGPT moment for full self-driving. But what it just reminded me of the magic of this moment. Tesla rebuilding their models for how they do self-driving around imitation learning and all this interesting stuff going on over there. Like, I think they probably made more progress in the last 12 months than in the last 7 years.
Wow.
In terms
That's a big statement.
In terms of what's going on there. And it's going to be rolled out here. It's already rolled out to, I think, 5,000 people. And so, like, people are going to start experiencing that. And I think we're having more and more of these moments.
Right.
Because this substrate we're going to talk a lot about today, AI.
Yeah.
And just the compute, like what it unlocks.
So yeah, inevitably that is going to happen, I think, at some point in 2024, especially as FSD V12 does get rolled out to more people. I think more news agencies, more promotion of this will happen. Now, I think the actual monetization can start to roll in as well, with some auto companies saying, hey, we're not going to be able to beat this. anytime soon for a very long time. Maybe if we actually partner with Tesla because their product is now just so good, maybe that will allow us to sell more EVs. That wouldn't surprise me. And that could start to bring in a lot more revenue for FSD, increase the TAM of FSD, if you will. And that could be the first thing that could start to fundamentally, materially affect Tesla's EPS in a positive way. Then you're looking at the potential robotaxi network. I still think at bare minimum, that is a bare minimum, a year away from today. If not, more than likely 2 to 3 years away from today. But Wall Street will price that in, especially if the economy does start to get a little bit worse and we start to price in more rate cuts, or maybe hell, we get more rate cuts than 3 in 2024, then you could start to assign more longer term value on some of these longer term kind of growth projects like an FSD and like an Optimus. So I think Tesla will have its AI moment, but it's going to be later in 2024 when rate cuts do start and when the markets assign more value to longer duration growth projects. We'll talk about that more over this weekend, so stay tuned to the channel. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button, like the video, because why not? It is, after all, free 99. And let's continue on with all of your other Tesla stock breaking news today. Tesla has increased the price of the Model 3 long range in the US by $250. Tesla has also increased the price of the white interior on the Model 3 to $1,500, a $500 increase. The Model Y white interior is still $1,000. So even on a day when Tesla is raising prices, the stock's down almost 2.5%. That just really goes to show you the drag on Tesla stock Nvidia has right now. And man, I just want to point this out. It defaulted to a Yahoo search, and I typed in Tesla, and it autofilled the Tesla Inc. Look at this. Volkswagen, drive electric with style. Ford, auto insurance. Volvo, all of these other companies, and then you have Tesla way down here. And I literally typed in Tesla Inc. I don't know what's wrong, if their algos are just bugged out, or maybe it always has been. What's going on there? Or maybe just it's incentivized to not promote Tesla. Who knows? But that's strange. And I just want to check and make sure the interior I want to see if the rear wheel drive is also $1,500. Look at that. Now, why I wanted to look at this, even if it's applicable on the rear wheel drive, is because if Tesla's raising prices on the long range, that's one thing. I mean, I could understand that just because, you know, it's America. People want that extra range. They're not afraid to, you know, buy the long range version. That shows there's good demand for that. But there's also likely really good demand for the white interior as well. That's pretty interesting because in my Tesla, I didn't care about anything else. I wanted either black or gray, but I had to have the white interior. So this is something that I think is, I guess, something that could be fundamentally impactful. Even $500 a car, right? To raise that $500 a car, you're going to sell thousands more of these. That could start to add to margins, to profitability, to EPS in at least some kind of way. Which, that's why I find it crazy Tesla stock is down 2.5% today, because, I mean, this was really good news. Aravan Energy is going to build a $1 billion solar and battery energy storage project in California. Tesla will provide a $150 million 200 megawatt hour megapack 2XL battery system for seamless power continuity. Now, this was pretty interesting. Sawyer Merritt says, should Tesla lower the price of FSD further? And, you know, if you're following Sawyer Merritt, you're likely an investor in Tesla anyway. So this is a really good kind of gauge to see where I think a lot of the Tesla demographic is actually at. 72.9% of voters said yes, including myself. 14.9% said no, and then 12.2% said just see results. A couple people agree with this, a couple people do not agree with this, but judging off of the results, people think Tesla should lower the price even to like $5,000. I think that would drive a much higher conversion ratio with FSD and potentially make a licensing deal for FSD more realistic. It looks like Tesla is shooting a commercial / video at a big 62 charger stall. And it looks like they are featuring the Cybertruck, Hummer EV, Ford Mustang Mach-E, Mercedes EV, and others. So we are expecting to get the Tesla Supercharger network that opens to these other different kinds of vehicles. So I'm kind of interested to see where this video or ad will be played, but it's probably a good thing that they are doing this regardless. Tesla will launch its EV, quote, Charge on Solar Powerwall product in Australia on Friday. Charge on Solar in the Tesla app will allow owners to set up their Tesla EVs in a number of ways to include solar power from their roof. It looks like you could be able to charge your Tesla directly by the power that your roof is providing. And if you were curious what underneath the bed of the Cybertruck looks like, you have a drivetrain and you do have the air tank for the air suspension. James Cat here on X says Q1 2024 estimates now down from 68 cents earlier in the quarter to 63 cents. Not a pretty trend over 5 quarters and setting up another year-over-year decline. Now, some people look at this like, wow, that's terrible. And of course, that's not good seeing estimates fall, but it's good in the sense of it's going to be easier for Tesla to beat. Now, this could be a reason why Tesla stock has not bounced back as much as you may have thought that it would, but the estimates, I would rather them be way lower than way higher, because I mean, it's just going to be easier to beat and easier to potentially show a larger profit. And I mean, when your EPS beats to the upside, that's the number one thing that drives stocks higher over the median term. And let me know down below in the comment section if the Cybertruck at some point should start offering your phantom doors. I actually think that looks sick. And Roland Percher reports we do have a Tesla store that is opening in Bolzano, Italy. And yeah, I would say for the start of this store opening, it's already pretty dang packed. Google Trends data continues to show more search-related activity for the Cybertruck, currently at 26, the Model Y at 33, the Model 3 at 32, and the Tesla Model X at 9. Global inventory numbers showing a little bit of a decline for the Model Y, little bit of an incline for the Model X, a continued decline for the Model S, and kind of a plateau around 1,500 for the Model 3. Keep in mind, it looks like, at least here in the US, the refreshed Model 3 is going over very well. 2 things to say there. It's going to keep the inventory numbers very low for the Model 3. So I want to see when we actually start to spike and see a meaningful spike, that might show us that 1, there's more production, or 2, they're just maybe not selling as many. But right now it looks like Tesla is selling all of the Model 3s they can produce, plus some. Lots of activity around the Model 3. And number 2, that's something that is likely not priced into Tesla stock as well. The refreshed Model 3 being a material contributor to sales in 2024. Tesla continues to run about 2,000 different ads via Google globally. A lot of these ads are now video ads, and most of them in short form content. You also have, a lot of leasing ads running in Europe. You have a lot of solar ads running in Australia, and just generalized ads for Tesla in Japan. Option activity today in Tesla stocks, pretty neutral, slightly more positive than not, with a positive order value of 54%. You have seen 445 different trades totaling $139 million. These trades are from hedge funds and institutions. If you look at the entirety of all investors, including retail, you have volume today to the call side that expires today on February 23rd, 2024. of 68.2% to the call side and 31.8% to the put side. That is more than 2 times as many calls than puts. Again, that could explain another reason why Tesla is down 2.5% today. When you see a lot more calls being bought than puts, market makers don't exactly love to go out and buy a crap ton of stock to hedge for these calls. So they like to push the stock in the other direction so the people buying the options ultimately lose. And no surprise, it looks like there is a lot of demand to short Tesla stock today. Cost to borrow fees now at about 9.86%. That's crazy if you're willing to pay almost 10% to get your hands on shares of Tesla to short. You're out of your mind, in my personal opinion, when Tesla's in the 190s. That's just ridiculous. You do have a short interest percentage of free float of 3.28%, with $17.92 billion worth of short positions currently in Tesla. On stock twits today for Tesla, the sentiment's actually improving. Yesterday, you were bearish with a sentiment rating of 43. Today, you are neutral with a rating of 51. So that's actually an improvement. Message volume pretty similar to yesterday. Yesterday you were at 55 out of 100. Today you're at 53 out of 100. So nothing's too crazy there. And the participation ratio is still at 54, which means there is a decent amount of people talking about Tesla stock, and that is good news. Overall in Tesla stock, if you look at this stock on a technical basis, you're still in a solid uptrend. You're bouncing right off of this uptrending line that I drew out a couple of days ago. You're bouncing right off of that. If we do break under that, it would probably happen, next week when the PCE report or GDP report comes out. And then, a break under that could send you potentially all the way back into the low 180s, if not to about 175, the uptrending line that we have drawn ever since the start of 2023. And I think if you've seen a hot PCE report, that would probably happen. Overall, I think the S&P and the NASDAQ are due for a correction now that NVIDIA has reported their earnings and earnings season is basically over with. Not because anything was bad, just to get a kind of cool off kind of period. If that were to happen, I'm sure Tesla would fall a little bit. And then at some point, we will get a broadening out of our markets. When that broadening out does happen, or we do get a little bit worse data for the economy, not recessionary, but a little bit weaker jobs reports or a little bit worse GDP than we were expecting, I think that's where Tesla stock could shine. But next week, I don't think the GDP report is going to be negative. We'll see, or worse than expected. We'll see if that were to happen. Tesla stock would probably do better. Markets would start to price in maybe 4 rate cuts again. But we'll see. Stay tuned to the channel for the next video. We will discuss where I think Tesla stock is going next in regards to a possible correction coming in our markets. You even have Michael Burry tweeting today. He thinks it is time for a market-wide correction. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. If you guys want to come trade with us, check out that link down below in the description of this video. We did hit the Carvana calls for 600% this morning. That was $60 or so into about $600, $500, $600, $700, just depends when you ultimately did sell that position. Could have been over 1,000%, 1,500% at one point today, and then a couple trades yesterday as well that were pretty good. If you guys want to join it, check that link out down below in the description of this video. We did make some trades today to hedge for the potential downside. And ARM, the stock that went up like 50% following their earnings, well, they have a major lockup period with their really their only big investor that owns 90% of ARM stock. Yeah, did you know that? Somebody owns 90% of ARM stock that gets the rights to sell their shares coming on March 12th. And I think that could be a very interesting event nonetheless for ARM and for the broader GPU semiconductor market. I did make a trade on that as well. If you guys want to see it, check it out. Link down below in the description of this video. Thank you guys for those of you that are already in that trading group. This helps make these videos possible each and every single day. Go ahead and follow the X account as well. I'm very active over there. Share all kinds of different things, Tesla, non-Tesla related things you probably need to know about the broad kind of markets, not just Tesla. Lots of action over there. check it out. Go follow the account. It is Michael Tyler. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekends, and I will see you in the next one.